Good afternoon. This is Kathleen Drew, Chair of the Energy Facility Site Evaluation Council, calling to order our special meeting this Friday, June 9th. Ms. Grantham, will you please call the roll for the Wautoma Solar Council and the Carriger Solar Council?
Certainly. Department of Commerce. Department of Ecology.
Eli Levitt, present.
Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Mike Livingston, present.
Department of Natural Resources.
Lenny Young, present.
Utilities and Transportation Commission.
Stacy Brewster, present.
For the Wautoma Solar Council for Benton County, Dave Sharp. For Washington Department of Transportation, Paul Gonseth. For the Carriger Solar for Klickitat County, Matt Childs.
Child.
Was that Matt Childs that I heard? It cut out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Matt
Thank
Child,
you.
present. Yep.
Thank you. And then Chair, would you like me to call for Assistant Attorney General and law judges as well as staff, or?
Yes, please.
Certainly. For the Assistant Attorney Generals, do we have Jenna Slocum
Present.
and John Thompson?
John Thompson, also present.
And for Administrative Law Judges, do we have Dan Gerard? Michael LaRipa?
I'm present.
And for Council Staff, Sonia Bumpus?
I am present.
Amy Hofkemeyer?
Present.
Amy Moon? Stu Henderson?
Stu Henderson, present.
Joan Owens?
Present.
Dave Walker? Sonia Scavland?
Present.
Lisa Massengale? Sarah Randolph?
Present.
Sean Green?
Present.
Lance Caputo?
Lance Caputo, present.
John Barnes?
Present.
Osta Davis? Joanne Snarsky?
Present.
Alex Shiley?
Present.
And do we have someone present for the Council for the Environment?
Megan Salome.
Excellent. Chair, there is a quorum for the regular council as well as Wautoma Solar and Carriger Solar. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a proposed agenda in front of us. Is there a motion to adopt the proposed agenda?
Lenny Young moves to adopt the proposed agenda.
Second?
Mike Livingston, second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So moving on, I would like to start with just a couple of items because there have been a couple questions raised. I think it's preferable to respond to before we get into the discussion of the extensions themselves. First of all, there is concern that we've received in comments that there wasn't adequate public notice for these meetings. So I would like our Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General John Thompson, to share with the council what the requirements are for public notice for this meeting.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Drew. This is John Thompson. So the public notice requirements under the Open Public Meetings Act for special meetings are in RCW 42.30.080. And what it requires is that for each special meeting, there be at least 24 hours written notice to the members of the governing bodies, so to the council. That's the first thing. And then to media representatives who have filed a written request for notices of special meetings. And then the third thing is to the public, and that can be achieved by posting on the agency website and prominently posting at the entrance of the agency's principal location. So, and each of those three things just require a minimum of 24 hours notice. So for instance, in the case of this special meeting, the notice was complied with on June 6th. So greater than 24 hours. So that constitutes compliance with the notice requirements, the OPMA.
Thank you. Are there any questions from council members? Okay, the second issue that was raised in a comment letter is the funding of the council chair. I would just like to say, when I started in this position, all positions within FSEC were funded by those who apply or who are regulated by our agency, but I sought a change in the budget, which has occurred. And now the administration of FSEC, including my salary and the salaries of the council members are largely paid by their own agencies, but their participation comes through state funds. So just to clarify that issue, so that's not inaccurately shared in the future. We are not funded as a council participating in this by the project. So clearing up those two issues, moving on now to Wautoma Solar Extension Request, Mr. Caputo.
Thank you, Chair Drew and council members. For the record, my name is Lance Caputo. I am the siting specialist assigned to the Wautoma Solar Power Facility. On June 1st, the applicant Energex Renewable Development USA sent us a request to extend by 5 months up until November 9th the agreement we have for the processing time of their application. And we recommend that the project deadline be extended until then. The applicant has been requested to provide some more to conduct more field survey work. Do you have any questions?
Are there any questions about the Wautoma Solar Extension request from council members? Hearing none, we will move to taking any public comments on the Wautoma extension request. Are there any public comments? Please raise your hand or indicate by voice that you have a comment, and Ms. Grantham will set the clock for 2 minutes. Are there any comments on the extension request for Wautoma Solar? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the extension request for Wautoma Solar? Council members?
Lenny Young, so moved.
Thank you. Second?
Stacy Brewster, second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? This is fairly standard process since we have more studies we would like to get done before we make a recommendation on this project in order to have the information that we need to make that determination. Are there any other, is there any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. The extension request for Wautoma Solar is approved. Moving on to the Carriger Solar extension request, Ms. Snarsky.
Good afternoon, Chair Drew and council members. This is Joanne Snarsky, the siting specialist assigned to the Carriger Solar Facility application. We received the application. It was filed with us on February 10th, 2023. And then included in their application submission, there was a request for FSEC to conduct its review in an expedited process. The expedited process is required to determine eligibility within 4 months of the application submittal, which will be tomorrow. Cypress Creek Renewables is the applicant, and they have requested, they are requesting the council to extend the 4-month review period by 2 additional months. And I believe the final date on that would be August. I'm sorry, I don't have that, but I believe it's the day after the August council meeting, which I think might be the 17th of August. So they're just requesting these 2 additional months for us to complete a determination for their eligibility for expedited review.
Thank you. Are there any questions? To remind the council, for expedited review, we need to have both a determination, a SEPA determination and a land use determination. And so this provides the council with the time to get the information needed to make those determinations. So I would suggest support for this. We will take public comment. Is there anyone who would like to, any other questions from council? Okay. So are there any people who would like to comment on this extension request?
And Chair Drew, I do have a list. Do we want to start with the list of people who signed up through email and then open up to
Yes.
Teams?
That would
Perfect.
be great. Thank you.
Yeah, of
2
course.
minutes.
The first person I have on the list is Lori Zoller.
Good afternoon. I'm here, and I was able to unmute myself. So
Very good.
great. Thank you for allowing me time for comment. I'll make this brief. The applicant did apply for an expedited process, and that application action actually implies that the applicant was fully ready and understood the processes and felt they were fully ready to move forward with the project in an expedited manner. In the beginning, I understood their request to be granted as an expedited process, as the county records show they had been working on this project and the application for over 5 years, since 2018. But here we are today with a request for more time. I do believe, because of the time they've spent on their application and should have been ready, this request should be denied. But I also believe that if you do go forward, extra time should be granted and documents accepted just the same as the company for the county and the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Next, I have Greg Wagner. Is that Mr. Wagner? Oh, go ahead.
My name is Greg Wagner, GREGWAGNER, with C, Citizens Educated About Solar Energy. FSEC has failed to give adequate due notice to the citizens of Klickitat County of the June 9, 2023 Carriager meeting. Joanne Snarsky told me that FSEC goes above and beyond what is required, and obviously this is not true. To post on the FSEC site and send out emails to a few registered citizens only 6 days in advance is inadequate. FSEC picked mid-afternoon to hold this meeting, which eliminates a vast majority of the Klickitat County citizens to participate as they are at work. Many citizens have been excluded. FSEC failed to answer my email questions and voicemails. FSEC, on the regular informational meetings, it was said the required informational postings in the local paper and at local libraries, etc., were not complied with. This prevents many concerned Klickitat County citizens from participating in this meeting, denying them their due process. FSEC failed to post on the FSEC website the extension request document filed by Cypress Creek Renewable for the Carriager Solar Project. This failure denies the citizens of an opportunity to review the document prior to this meeting and making comments. This violates the Open Public Meetings Act. FSEC's biased in favor of Cypress Creek Renewable, violating the RCW 4236, the appearance of fairness. FSEC members should conduct themselves in a fair and impartial manner. FSEC fails to allow their established procedures and follow the established procedures in state law. In light of these failures and violations, this meeting should be canceled until all requirements are met. No extension should be granted at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
On to the law.
Next, we have Deb Wagner. Do we have a Deb Wagner on the line?
This is Deb Wagner, DEBWAGNER. What my husband has just spoke about, I totally agree with 100%. Those are my thoughts also. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Next, we have Dave Barta.
Good afternoon, Chair Drew and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Cypress Creek has been in contact with FSEC since about 2019 regarding the Carriger project, according to FSEC's own public record. And in FSEC's response to the Carriger project, FSEC noted 25 items on their data table, and that they noted in the application were incomplete, lacking, or some were plainly incorrect. Notably missing on that data table were any references to visual resources, among other things. As I stated during testimony on May 25th, this project is inconsistent on several levels with local ordinances in Klickitat County. I encourage you to review that testimony. As regards this extension request, Carriger Solar's had years, at least since 2019, to prepare their application. Their inability to adequately do so is their responsibility. Please deny Carriger's request to extend this application for expedited process. Inconsistency with land use alone is enough to deny the expedited review at this time. And I thank you for the opportunity to testify today.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Next, we have Sherry Bousquet.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, FSEC. FSEC should not approve this extension. You've just heard plenty of reasons why. And, you know, we have a moratorium in Klickitat County. It's not consistent. But I'm still here to challenge FSEC's territorial jurisdiction in Klickitat County. I received an email from Joanne Snarski giving me RCWs, but it's failed to show me a house.
I'm sorry. That's not the subject of this comment period. The subject is only the extension.
I'm sorry, but you're interrupting my freedom of speech, Chair Drew. I would like to continue unless you've muted me. For this reason, FSEC should not be acting like you have authority in Klickitat County. FSEC is now trespassing in Klickitat County. And you may be doing insurrection and invasion in our county, on our government. You're making a motion. I am making a motion for injunction immediately to FSEC and Carriger proceedings in Klickitat County. I do not believe you have territorial jurisdiction. You are harming the inhabitants of Klickitat County by your actions right now. Your fake unconstitutional agency doesn't give you authority in our county. One thing you all should be very clear about, by your decisions and your actions you are all taking in your personal capacity, you are creating a downfall of America. You think you are making good decisions because you were told you were. You aren't using your common sense. This is greenwashing of renewable energy, and it destroys you and your children in generations to come. You and your personal decisions to cripple our electric grid and to take away valuable farmland is hurting yourselves and your family. You will leave the next generation with a toxic mess they may never clean up. This is shameful, and you all should be ashamed for supporting this. And no extension for any expedited anything with this project. This needs to end. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Next, we have Justin Bousquet. Do we have Justin on the line?
No, he is not available. He's in a meeting for work.
Okay. Then the last person I have on my list is Dave West. Do we have a Dave West on the line? That is all I have on my list, Chair Drew, if we want to
Is-
open up to teams.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on this call who would like to make a comment? Hearing none, then to the council members, is there a motion on this extension request to approve or disapprove this extension request? Please make a motion.
Lenny Young moves to approve the extension request.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Stacy Brewster, second.
Thank you. Discussion? Again, this is for the council to get the information required to make a decision whether or not to expedite. This is not a decision to expedite, and to do so, we need to know what the SEPA determination is, as well as to make a determination on land use consistency, which we have not done yet. So with that, all those in favor of approving this extension request, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. The extension request for Carriger Solar is approved, and I have no further business today, so the meeting is adjourned.